Welcome to the Flip Thinking Podcast. In this podcast, you'll listen to intimate conversations between Bertolt Gunster and his guests. Together, they'll explore the guest's personal problem and try to make it feel lighter or make it disappear altogether. This can be achieved in different ways. Sometimes they can simply solve the problem, but more often than not, they'll find that they have to let go of expectations or views they hold about themselves. At other times, they can only observe the fact that there is a problem without judging it. And in some cases, they can flip think the problem.
Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Could you tell me your name and something about who you are?
My name's Chris.
Yep.
I'm 41. I live in Amsterdam with my wife and my 3-year-old son. Mm-hmm. And I'm an actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this for now for a brief introduction. The first question is, what's your problem, Chris?
My problem is that I procrastinate. I put things off that I don't feel like doing, and that can get me into trouble.
Okay. Could you give me an example?
Well, the earliest example I can remember is when I was in elementary school, and it was a Montessori school, so you could sort of divide your time between in math.
Very good for people who procrastinate, right?
Yeah, which is
easy living.
Perfect fit for me.
Yeah.
The only thing, you had to have your work done by the end of the school year.
Yeah.
And didn't matter what order you did it or what you started with. So all the kids were finished in usually April, May. And I was the only one, and they got to play outside, do fun stuff and games. And then I was always the last one stuck up to June, like the last day of the school year. That was the day that I finished my work. So I just put it off to the very end. And then I was all sad and pathetic, sitting inside doing my work.
Feeling frustrated.
Yeah.
About yourself, of course, also doing so.
Yeah, and I thought, why do I do this?
Yeah.
It happens. I put off doing my taxes, making an important phone call or stuff that needs to be done that I've promised my wife that I would do. I put off doing that until sort of the last minute or after the last minute. Yeah, and then I get annoyed with myself saying, why do I do this? Why do I? It would have been so much easier if I just done it right away.
Right. You don't have to convince me. I believe you. Yeah. And is there progression during your life? Is it getting worse or better? How does it evolve?
I guess it's gotten a bit better. I mean, yeah. When I was a student, or maybe like the first few years after I was a student, I'd get into trouble with not paying my student loans back in time, and I was in more trouble than I am now. I'm not in trouble now. There's no emergencies or anything. So I usually make sure that I do things before it really becomes a big problem. Yeah.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, how big would you describe your problem to be?
Well, I guess a 6 or a 7 because
it's quite big, but not that
critical.
Big.
It's not. Yeah.
So, do you want to get better?
Yeah.
That's why you're here, right?
Exactly.
So we actually don't have a problem in a kind of way, but an ambition.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. How does it feel to transform description from a problem to an ambition? Does it make a difference? Maybe it doesn't, but maybe it does.
I think it does because it's more about something I would like to achieve instead of something I don't want to be.
Yeah. Well, let's focus on the last part of what you just said. How would you describe somebody who is procrastinating all the time?
Lazy.
Yeah. You're saying what I was thinking. Yeah. So you're a lazy person. A lazy person. Lazy person. How long in your life do you have this awareness of being a lazy person? When didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, I always knew that I was kind of, not someone who did things right away or, on time. But, I just thought, hey, well, that's just how I am. It's just me.
I am lazy.
Yeah.
How does it feel to label yourself as being lazy? How does that feel?
It doesn't feel good because I don't think it's completely fair to, because I can and do work hard.
No, Chris. I know this, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels. We are not talking about what you're doing.
Right.
We're talking about how you judge about yourself, right?
Yeah.
Being a lazy person.
Yeah.
So you are lazy.
Lazy.
Is this something that people said to you during your life?
Yeah, I have heard this. Yes, that I'm lazy. Yeah.
So are you lazy?
My teacher said I was lazy.
Yeah. So this is your crucifix, right?
Yeah, it's the cross I have to bear. It's being Being lazy.
So you mentioned that you have a first meeting with me. You leave the room, and I'm talking to a colleague or a friend, and he's asking me, well, what kind of person was it? Well, he's nice, but yeah, I think he's lazy. Do you feel as if somebody reveals you?
Like as if I'm being caught.
And, right? Like being an imposter, right?
Yeah.
As long as people don't see that you are lazy, that you are an imposter.
Yeah, it's obviously something I don't advertise to people. So I guess if you'd say that to someone about me, I would feel caught in the act.
Yeah. And this is something you don't want to feel and you don't want to think, right?
Yeah.
So this is your self-image, your not desired self-image. You could describe it this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And when we're talking about doing things, not about who you are, but what you're doing, you know rationally that sometimes you just do things in time, sometimes you don't. You can improve. It's not about who you are, but it's about behavior, right?
Yeah.
But it feels about who you are.
Yeah, feels like part of my identity. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, very good. Thank you, Chris. So now the question is, how can you get rid of this negative self-image? Do you have an answer to this question?
No.
If
I did, I wouldn't be here.
I have. I have, yeah. But we do it step by step. You are caught in the self-image, this awareness that being actually lazy.
Yeah.
If you don't pay attention to it, if you just are yourself, then you evolve to a lazy person. This is your self-image, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I need to keep working against my nature, my identity, to prevent myself from slipping into laziness.
Right. And the moment you decide to stop this fight, then you become this lazy person.
Right.
Because this is your true nature.
Yeah.
This is how it feels, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, I can tell you, fighting it makes it worse. Because you're trying to prove yourself not being lazy.
Yeah.
So what happens? Then you start doing all kinds of things you don't really want to do, but you have to do to prove yourself not being lazy. So the focus is not on the task, but the focus is on trying to change the self-image. But you'll never get there. What's the opposite of lazy? How would you call this?
Hardworking, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have a nice word for this? What gives you joy?
Yeah, focused.
Structured.
Organized,
well organized, well planned, energetic.
Yeah.
Give your words, right? I'm just giving suggestions, but it should be your words.
It's being on top of things, being in control, I guess. Yeah, because I feel
so life is not getting out of hand. Things are not getting out of control.
Yeah, but I set my own schedule, and I don't get into trouble because of my laziness.
Yeah, I feel a little bit hesitation. It's really something that you don't want to be, right? It gives you an unpleasant feeling saying this.
Yeah.
So now, how to get rid of this? This was a question where we were a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
it's an irrational self-image. The rest of your life, as long as you try to fight it, you will confirm it. Because who else than somebody who's trying to fight being lazy is actually thinking that he is lazy. So the fight in itself is a proof that this is who you think that you are.
Yeah, right.
So now rationally you know that the self-image has little to do with your behavior because you can improve. And you've proven so during your life.
Yeah.
But still this self-image is beneath the surface being a burden for doing things.
Exactly, yeah.
So now the escape is just looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, Chris, I am very lazy.
Right.
And as long as it hurts, then this self-image is there.
Yeah. So as soon as I can say to myself, I'm lazy without that feeling bad or without pain, then I'm cured of this lazy self-image.
As long as you want to get rid of it, you walk away from this feeling, then you are confirming it. You're trying to prove the opposite and confirming it. Because there will always be a day that you don't finish a task, or that you're tired or whatever. There's always a reason, and this might be a good reason. So as long as you fight it, this leads to unnatural behavior. Your focus is not on what you're doing, but on your self-image.
Yeah.
And as long as you are making fun of it, this is not accepting it, but making fun of it. Knowing how ridicule it is to think so on a deep level that you are a lazy person, which is who said you are, right? But this is what you think.
Yeah.
So now how to convince yourself that you're not a lazy person? Just by saying that you are lazy. Saying it and saying it until there is a day that you think, well, this is absurd. I'm not always lazy. And then you say, yes, I am always lazy.
Right. Okay. I'm lazy.
Yeah. How does it feel? This makes you laugh, right? Because it's an absurd thing to say. You don't want to say this, right?
Yeah.
You want to fight it. This is what you're doing your whole life. Fight it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because as soon as I say it, thoughts pop up in my head. Like,
it's absurd.
Yeah, but you're not always lazy.
No, right. No, but now you try. As long as you convince yourself from the opposite, then laziness will be confirmed. But now when you confirm yourself being lazy, then your mind goes to the other way, just like you just said.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's the nice thing about being lazy?
Well, I guess it's being able to enjoy doing nothing.
The moment. Be with somebody.
Yeah. I'm good at spending spending free time. Mm-hmm. My wife she feels guilty if she has too much time. She feels like she needs to do something useful. Yeah. I do not have this problem.
Yeah, which is really a great joy.
Yeah,
being able to do. A lot of people work, then they retire, and they hope they can achieve this kind of living, and they won't, and then they die.
Yeah,
but you have it naturally.
Yeah, yeah.
What's another nice thing of being lazy?
I guess, I was going to say less stress, but I'm not sure if that's true because...
You don't want to be a lazy person, that gives you stress.
Yeah.
But once you can embrace the idea that you are allowed to be lazy as a behavioral kind of thing, what happens then with the stress?
Well, then it will be less stressful because I won't feel bad about being lazy or
doing
not doing nothing.
Producing really nothing at all.
Yeah, not being useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Useful. Horrible word. You have to be useful.
Yeah.
Chris lives in a universe where he doesn't have to be useful. He just is. A lot of people try to achieve this state of mind by Zen or meditation or using drugs. This is your natural habitat, your natural state of being.
Yeah.
That you are.
It's good.
You don't have to be useful. Once you embrace the idea that it's not a problem to be a lazy person.
Right. I was going to say I can be good at wasting time, but then it's not wasting time. No. Obviously, if it's just
you are good in breathing.
Yeah,
floating through universe,
existing.
Yeah. A lot of people are not good in existing.
Yeah,
they try to deserve that they are allowed to exist.
Yeah,
but you exist.
That's true.
So what's about creative processes? If you have to make up things, invent things, like as an actor, you have to be creative.
Yeah.
This is something you can order. You can sit behind your desk. Now I am creative.
Exactly.
It needs time to contemplate, to think it over, to sleep. I can imagine lazy people are good in doing so.
That's true. Most creative thoughts usually happen when I'm doing something completely different. If I'm walking my dog or just sitting around, or maybe I could be watching a YouTube video completely not related to what I'm supposed to be creating. But, a thought will pop into my head and there it is.
And if you would not be a lazy person, if you are fighting being lazy, then there's little space for these moments.
That's true, yeah.
Well, Chris, the conclusion of this dialogue, which is almost nearly to an ending, to my opinion, is that you are a lazy person, Chris.
I'm a lazy person.
You're not lazy, very lazy person.
A very lazy person.
But the laziest person I ever met. Yeah. And now you're laughing about it. This is the moment of being free from fighting it. Yeah. Being free from fighting it.
Let it be known that I am a very lazy person.
The lazy people. If somebody needs a lazy person, there you are. They can call you. You won't pick up the phone, but they can try to call you. Yeah. How does it feel because now you can laugh about this this label. How does it feel?
The idea feels liberating that I can stop trying to be something that I'm not, or trying to fight something, which I guess it's a waste of energy, because I can imagine that it doesn't help me. Mm-hmm. So I like the idea of letting go of, and maybe not setting the bar too high for myself, which is something that I tend to do too, oddly enough, which might seem at odds with the fact that I'm lazy, but it's also something that I guess...
Yeah, because you're trying to prove yourself that you're not. So then this is unnatural behavior.
Yeah.
Your focus is not on what you do, but on who you try to be.
Yeah, exactly.
How people perceive you, and you perceive yourself, of course.
Yeah.
So I predict that once you allow yourself to be lazy, that you'll act less lazy.
I'd like that.
But don't put too much hope on it, right? Yeah. Don't do it because you want to be somebody else.
Right.
But just be lazy when you want to be lazy. And then things, it takes a lot of power and energy to prove yourself to be somebody. When you do this in moments that you really don't want to actually do something. When you do something just to prove it, it's not natural energy. There's no joy or passion or ambition.
Yeah.
No necessity there.
Yeah.
Only the miserable attempt to convince yourself to be somebody else than you think you are.
Yeah.
This takes energy.
Yeah.
So just be lazy. And then there will be a lot of moments that you are willing to do things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah. We won't know how this will evolve in this conversation because this needs practice and time.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, in 2-3 months, when you really allow yourself to act lazy, whatever you think about yourself, to be lazy when you want to be lazy, I predict that you have more energy when you want to really be energetic.
Yeah.
Because then it's a natural motivation there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You started with a problem, right?
Yeah.
Procrastination thing. Do you feel that this conversation is like a circle, that we have reached an end point?
Yeah, I think so.
Conclusion?
I think we have reached the core of what what's going on here. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your brave being here.
Thank you.
I hope my English was well enough.
Sure.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and we'll see what happens. I'm curious.
We'll see. Okay, thanks.
Do you want to flip think your own problem too? In Bertolt Gunster's bestseller Flip Thinking, you will learn all about the life-changing art of turning problems into opportunities. Flip Thinking is available in England, Italy, Portugal, South Korea, United States, and soon in 17 other countries too. For info, check out flipthinking.info.